Hey guys, today we're going to be reading a book called From Hellen Keller. Hellen Keller was a famous woman who was blind and deaf. And she didn't get blind or deaf by staring someone for an hour or, doing some stuff. She had a sickness when she was around 8 or 9 months. So let's get started. Hellen Keller was a famous woman because she knew what to do. Table of contents: blind and deaf. Hellen Keller was blind and deaf. She couldn't see and she couldn't hear. When she was a girl, people who were blind or deaf were often kept away from the world. They were sent to live in places called alamus. So alamus is folded. So it's blind and deaf. So then that means we're going to be finding them in the end, where we're going to find out in the index. Actually, in the geometry. Glossary. Hellen was very brave and very smart. She learned to speak and to understand words, even though she couldn't hear them. She showed that blind and deaf people could live with the rest of the world. She wrote books and traveled all over the world. Today, blind, and deaf people have a much better life because of Hellen Keller. Hellen and her friend with Hellen's special typewriter. So, Hellen would just stare at you like that. She can hear, she can see, she can walk, she was brave, and she was smart. A healthy baby. Hellen was born on June 27, 1880. She lived with her parents in Tremona, Alabama. When she was born, she could see, she could hear, and she could see fine. When she couldn't talk because she wasn't old enough, and her parents talked to her. She was just like any other baby. Bad fever. When Hellen was 1.5 years, she got a very bad fever. Those days, doctors called this sickness a brain fever. They could keep anyone from being smart. The fever went away, but Hellen could no longer see or hear. A wild child. When other girls went to school, Hellen couldn't. That made her mad because she couldn't hear or other people what they're saying. She was called a wild child because it was so hard to teach her and to make her behave. Other people told Hellen's parents to put her in an asylum, but they didn't want to. A photograph taken by Hellen Keller. So, this is Hellen. And this is her. And this is the chapter called Wild Child. So they're saying here, there's no clues here. So there's no word. You can know. Oh, here's another one. Her own teacher. Instead, her parents found a teacher for Hellen. Her name was Anne Sullivan. She was only 21 years old. She had been blind, but operation let her see again. Operation. That's the next word we're going to be learning about. In 1987, Anne came to the Kellers. Anne later said this: the most important day I can remember in my life. So this is Anne Sullivan, the woman that helped her. W-A-T-W-A-T-E-R, which stands for water. One day, Hellen pumped water on Hellen's hand. Then the teacher traced the letters W-A-T-E-R with her finger on Hellen's hand. Suddenly, Helen understood those words what meant water. She began to learn more words very quickly, introducing her own name. She showed that she was very smart. Citizen of the world. Before long, Helen could read, write, and talk as well as people could see and hear. As an adult, she wrote 14 books and gave many speeches, showing that one and the other blind and deaf people could learn as well as she did. She visited 35 countries. She called herself a citizen of the world. Her legend lives on. Hellen Keller died on June 1, 1986. But then she became one of the most famous women in the world. Anne and Helen lived many manners. So this is Anne. This is Helen, okay? So this is Helen who graduated. And this is... Can you guess out who it is? I'll give you a second. That's Anne. Anne Sullivan, the one who came to help her. Anne showed that people who are blind and deaf do not need to shut away and give up hope. They could learn and live as well as anybody. Or they could learn as well as anybody. Hellen Keller was a hero and an inspiration to the world. Glossary. Alopems. Asalism. It spells television. Places for people who can't take care of themselves and live with the rest of the society. Blind, unable to see. Citizen. Someone who lives in a particular city or country. Deaf, unable to hear. Fever, a high but normal body and higher than a normal body temperature. An inspiration, which is right here on the last word. Someone or something to uplook to. The inbox, you can find books written by and so these are really big, and these are called the people who made a big difference. They made an amazing big difference. So hope you like them. I hope you learn about more. And there's more books I might be reading from Rosa Parks and Alexander Graham Bell. Alexander Graham Bell and and Rosa Parks. This guy made a difference. And this woman made a difference. Thanks for watching. Bye.